After riots, a shocking attempted robbery in broad daylight sent shockwaves across Italy, deepening public anxiety about security and stability. Video of the armed robbery was released by Italy's law enforcement agency, Carabinieri, giving the public a dramatic look at how the attack unfolded. Heavily armed assailants were seen ambushing a cash transit vehicle in Italy's Puglia region on February 9, turning an ordinary highway stretch into a violent crime scene. In the footage, the attackers tried to overtake and trap an armored vehicle by using fire and obstruction tactics on the highway, forcing traffic into chaos. Reports said the robbers set fire to a van and a truck to form a barricade before launching the ambush, creating a moving roadblock to isolate their target. The armored van's doors and even its roof were seen blown off on the roadway as cars sped away, showing both the force used and the panic it caused. The masked assailants allegedly drove vehicles equipped with blue flashing lights to impersonate police, a tactic meant to confuse drivers and intimidate the crew. RT reported the robbers ultimately failed to steal the cash because of security measures inside the armored van, suggesting the vehicle's protections held under pressure. What followed was a cat-and-mouse chase between Italian police and the armed robbers, as authorities moved quickly to cut off escape routes. Carabinieri units reportedly fired at the assailants before the gang fled the scene, signaling officers believed the threat level was severe and immediate. Carabinieri video then showed 2 suspects being arrested after a hard pursuit, indicating the operation continued beyond the initial ambush site. The 2 suspects taken into custody are believed to be among the armed gunmen seen on the Puglia highway, tying the arrests directly to the on-camera attackers. While 2 suspects are now in custody, a manhunt for the remaining 4 armed assailants is still underway, keeping security forces on high alert in the area. The attempted robbery comes as Italy is already under strain, with chaos erupting in the streets while the Winter Olympics are underway. Italy's financial capital Milan has seen an unprecedented wave of violent protests, creating a parallel crisis of public order beyond the robbery itself. Protesters and police clashed in front of the Milan Olympic Village on February 7th, turning a high-profile global event into a flashpoint. Videos showed protesters launching fireworks, smoke bombs, and flares at police lines, escalating demonstrations into scenes resembling street battles. Italian police responded with water cannons and baton charges near Olympic venues, indicating authorities moved to prevent the unrest from spreading. Demonstrators said they were protesting the Games over environmental damage and rising living costs, linking the Olympics to broader economic frustration. On the same day, suspected acts of sabotage disrupted rail services in northern and central Italy, adding infrastructure disruption to the wave of unrest. Officials said damaged cables on the Bologna-Venice line and an arson attack caused major rail delays, leaving commuters and travelers stranded for hours. Reports also said an improvised incendiary device was found on rail tracks, prompting an investigation into whether the disruption was coordinated. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni lashed out at protesters as enemies of Italy on February 8, framing the unrest as an attack on the country's image and cohesion. Meloni said, and I quote, "Thousands and thousands of Italians are working during these hours so that everything works during the Olympics. Many do it voluntarily, because they want their nation to look good, admired and respected. Then there are them. The enemies of Italy and the Italians, who demonstrate against the Olympics, putting these images to an end on the televisions of half the world, after others locked railway cables to prevent trains from starting." End quote. Violent riots also followed earlier street anger, after Italians protested in Milan against the reported deployment of US ICE on February 5, adding another politically charged trigger to the mix.